Radio. Hi everyone, this is ICA TV and we are both, the lovely Lisa and myself, in a most amazing country, and we're in the same blimming country, which is nice to hear, and we're both in Wales and we're not near, because Wales is quite a big country, my sweet, isn't it? And you go, we'll just pop down the road. No, it's quite big. It's quite big. But it's nice to have somebody in Wales with me. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's very cool. And before any of our interviews, ladies who are watching, we have a little chat. And I think Lisa and I've got quite a lot in common. So that's quite nice to know. So we could be here for hours. Okay, we could be for hours. Or it's cup of tea time in a bit. So Lisa, just tell me, this is very cool, tell me what you call yourself in your business. What are you?
Yeah, so I'm Lisa Williams, the spiritual fairy witch.
How amazing is that? Yes, we're all, I'm there. I'm popping down to Caerphilly just to say hello, put the kettle on. 2 hours, I think it is.
Yeah, that's
right. So the spiritual fairy witch, and where did you get that from?
After I had my spiritual awakening, like an ancestral whisper, I guess, is really connecting to my inner witch. And, you know, we are all witches by nature, obviously. And I practice, because I've gone down the holistic road of like using herbs and grounding myself, walking barefoot on the grass, oracle card readings and all that. But the fairy side of things, because witches are human, fairies are not. Actually, witches, because of society or what media portrays a witch to be, we think that they're the evil ones. When actually
hats and things.
Yeah, but actually fairies can be a little bit more mischievous.
They're naughty, that's why I like them.
Naughty. So the fairy in me is like kind of the sort of mischievous, kind of a bit out there, bit of a dreamer. And then the witch is more grounded, more earthy. So that's why I kind of fuse the two together.
And is that like intuition? Are you talking about intuition, female intuition, or?
Yeah, I read a lot of energies with people. Like I kind of know if I'm even on a Zoom call, I know if there's bad energy or good energy or something feels off. I think I've had that since I was a child. I've had that inner knowing and that, you know, that intuition for a long time. But now it's really coming kind of strong. I get kind of like daily downloads and guidance and whispers and yeah, a lot going on.
Do you think we have to tune into that in society? It's just so loud.
Yeah, actually, I've just finished writing a chapter for a book that I'm involved in. And that's one of the lines, actually. It's very similar, that there's a lot of noise. Like I was saying, because society is so busy and we're always in the doing, we're not listening to what it is. We're not connecting with nature enough. Well, not everybody. Some people are, but you know, I guess a lot of people get in the car, they drive to work, they're in an office all day, and then they come back and they then are in their house, and then they're watching TV, and they're not getting out and having that vitamin D and connecting. And yeah, I think we've lost our way a little bit.
Society has had a directional pull, hasn't it? You know, I think there's lots of things out in the world. Obviously, ladies, this is just our opinion. So whether you agree or not, you know, let us know, chat, that there are a lot of things that we can have, material things that we can have. And they are shown to us all the time on an advert or a billboard, not in West Wales, not many billboards around me, I might add. But there are things that are told on Facebook, for goodness sake, you know, adverts about stuff, Groupon, if anybody's there, you know, stuff that we can have, rather than actually saying we can take our shoes and socks off and we can just stand and be and watch and be just be you. Love talking about this because I could be here for a while. Is this, do you think, about feeling guilty about wanting to be you?
What, me, or is it
General question about, we have the society where we go to work, we drive the cars, we have the biggest, bestest, we are expected to do, like you say, not be. So do you think that's when we go, stop the world, I want to get off, that there's a guilt thing going, there's something wrong with me?
Possibly. I think we're conditioned to believe, I think it's conditioning right from school, like the conversation we were having, right from being in school to conditioning to be a certain way. You get your exams, you're tested all of the time on, you get your exams, get the job, have the money. And even when things nowadays are not broken, people have to have the latest phone, but I've not been like that. I'm like, well, my phone still works, I don't need the latest one. But we're being sold to, like you said, all of the time, whether it's social media, magazines, expectations of neighbours, cars, oh my goodness, so and so across the road has a new car, I must compete and have a new car. And then people work extra hours, and then they're exhausted, and they wonder why they're exhausted, but they're always they're on this hamster wheel of
chasing the bigger, the better, the best.
Because, like I said, we've been conditioned to just do that, whereas actually, if you step back, we don't need all of these material things. They only bring us momentarily pleasure. It's not it's not all of the time. Whereas the memories, that's what brings us love, contentment, compassion.
Yep, I love the word contentment, because I think contentment is when you actually can breathe and go, oh, okay, we're good, this is good. And a lot of people, I work with quite a lot of people, they're going, actually contentment is boring. Is that when you get to that stage, what do you mean you're content? There's other stuff you can do, have, but that's your journey. And I think we have to be strong enough to go, yeah, this is my journey.
Absolutely.
This is what we want.
If you look at the emotional guidance scale, contentment is actually quite low down, but I think it's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful place to sit in your garden with a cup of tea and not want anything else at that moment. I don't need anything else than where I am, who I am.
Perfect.
So
yeah. Let's touch on education.
Okay.
Oh my God. I have, and you have, worked with young people in the past, and you have young people in your household. Mine have grown. They've got their own homes, their own households, their own jobs, and they don't live with me anymore. Sad, but also quite liberating sometimes. I just like to share that as a mum. But my young people have gone through education. Yours are going through education. Mine, I have surprisingly been through education, and yourself have. How do you feel? Because I know we've both got opinions on this. How are we treating our young people in education? What do you feel about in relation to your spiritual world and what you do as a life?
Wow, I mean, I could be here all day.
Huge question.
It's very outdated, very, very outdated. My daughter came home the other day, like I was just saying, and she said that, why do I need to know X, Y, and Z? I'm not going to need this in the real world. And I said to her, well, what would you like to learn? She said, well, we don't do anything about business, finances, taxes. And I feel, again, coming from someone who is a dreamer, dyslexic, all of these things. Yeah. And I know from my education, being told to just sit still, and I love to move. So sit completely still. And, we used to copy a lot of things from the board. So you're just copying and you're not taking it in. I mean, some do, but and then you do an exam and you're tested on that exam. And if you don't get good grades, I didn't, you feel, I can't do anything in my life now.
It's crap. I'm rubbish. I'm stupid. I can't do.
There's not enough creativity. There's not enough hands-on creative work within the schools as well. Again, it's just about, I wasn't academic due to my dyslexia and maybe being in my own little bubble of dream world. But I had a beautiful imagination. I remember one of my English teachers actually saying to me, I am disgusted with your grammar, your spelling, your blah, blah, blah. And she went to town on me. But then she said, but your storytelling is phenomenal. And I said, well, that's great, because if I want to be an author, I would get someone else to, go through
spell check, write the paragraph. Yeah.
And she said, don't be so defiant with me. And I got expelled for a week for arguing my case, should we say, or having an opinion.
Having an opinion.
So although I wasn't a naughty child, I stood up for what I believed in. And that's kind of seen me through adulthood. So although it's sort of created moments of sadness within me of like, why am I being treated like this, kind of victim mentality, I'll still speak up for what I believe to be true. And I'm 38. I've been asked to be part of a chapter of a book.
Yay.
I am dyslexic. It's taken me a lot longer than it would take someone who isn't. But my creativity is coming through, and it's just, whereas someone could be amazing at grammar and all of that, but actually if they don't have the imagination. So yeah.
Oh, darling, go for it, enjoy it. I have a very quick story about my mum, bless her. We've lost her this year, so we were going through stuff, as you do, and it is a sad time. However, it's quite funny sometimes. We were going through things, and there was my mum's dictionary, which has always been on next to her chair. Not that she ever did anything with it except for when we were kids. And I'm 55, guys, so it's a bit dusty by the time I got it. And my sister, who's 15 or so years older than me, she said, Tree, do you want this? And I looked at her and went, are you serious? You want asking me if I would like a dictionary? And it was like, I remember so clearly me asking Mum, that homework stuff that I never did actually, how do you spell? And it's like, look in the dictionary. Well, what's the point of a dictionary if you don't know how it starts?
Yeah.
What, there's, we might get the first letter.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, well, if I knew what the next letter was, I would spell it because I understand it. So I totally get it. Absolutely. And it's the ability out there. There are people who've got skills in grammar. There's people who've got skills in spelling. I'm not particularly gifted with that skill. However, I am a dreamer, and I can see that things will happen, like yourself. So ladies out there, if anybody tells you that you can't do it because you can't do that, then just find another way. There's always a way. Once you've got it, you've got it. If you haven't got it, then find a different way that works for you. So don't let anybody put you down.
Absolutely. And we all learn differently. And that's the thing with education, is that, obviously some teachers are better than others. We know this to be true. But, some teachers, it's kind of like they have their method. They might have two methods, but don't even ask them for the third method. So if the child doesn't get the first or second time, it's kind of like, why do you not get it? So there's no thinking outside the box. There's no difference of approach. And I get that they are strained to time as well. They only have an element of time to deal with X amount of children. So it can be hard. But yeah, I think there needs to be more creativity within the education, I think. And do you know what, more now than ever, as we come into this, the world's opening up and closing and opening like the hokey cokey, I think that the children need to have more mindfulness moments. They need to have more creativity and more outlets. They're gonna have built up a lot of emotion the past 16 months. It's going to be stored within their little bodies, whether they're little, whether they're teenagers like my daughter, and it'll come out in different ways. It might not come out straight away, it'll come out in time through frustration and all of these things. So I think the education system going forward need to bring in more mindfulness practitioners, more creatives. And yes, you can still do your maths, your science, your English and all of those things. But they're going to have to hold a lot of space, I think, for the next generation.
It's going to, I don't believe it will change, honestly. I don't believe that the people who make the decisions are going to believe, but also I do believe we as intuition believers and knowledge about creativity, and that it is our role in life to keep pushing and to support our young people, whoever they are in our lives. One day I'll be a grandma, so they say, you know, to be that naughty, fun, inspirational person that they can go, oh, my nana did that, that's okay. Whatever that is, that's our job. And we can canvas, if that's the right word, education, but I don't think they are big enough in their own ability to see that that's the way forward. So it might be alternative education. So that leads me into your group. Okay, because I know you have and are building a tribe of amazing ladies. So what are you doing with these ladies? Why are these ladies going, oh, I need to talk to Lisa? What's going on there?
I think, again, it's from society. It's from being on the go and doing and not being. And it catches up with us and it stems from being that child to sit still, from going into the job that maybe we're not satisfied with, because we have to have the job we're not satisfied with to pay for the house that we're vacant from all day, to be in the job that we're not satisfied with, to drive the car we can't really afford. And I think, you know, it builds up, and stress builds up, and expectation from other people and ourselves build up. Like I always say, create a life that looks good from the inside, not the outside, is so important. And I think that's what women are craving now more than ever, is just, I was going to swear, I won't swear on your platform.
Oh, you can, my darling, because people used to be swearing.
But it's almost like, you know, shit. It's like, you know, I can't deal with all of these emotions that are building up in here and here and here, you know, and I'm expected to be everywhere and do everything, and you know, and for me the Moon Tribe Academy is about just slowing down, just acknowledging that it's okay to just sit quiet for 1 hour a month.
God forbid, my darling,
you know,
a whole hour.
A month. And we don't, though. The amount of women who said to me, I can't join, I don't have the time. I want to join, I don't have the time. And it's heartbreaking, really, that we don't give ourselves that opportunity to just have the time, you know. But I think, yeah, for me, it's just holding that safe, sacred, non-judgmental space for women. We're all on very different journeys. We've all had different past traumas and different life experiences, and we deal with things differently. But it's just about kind of finding the inner quiet as well, because again, life can be quite noisy, and it's just finding that inner quiet, being together, being felt that you're being seen, heard and supported as well. So it's not counselling, but I guess it's kind of like a therapy session.
Talking therapy is an amazing thing that we, again, society is now only just getting its head round, to be able to have a voice, all of us to have a voice in whatever way we do. So your mission as a businesswoman, I know you've done other stuff in the past, very creative, arts and theatre with young people. So you're going into my favourite word at the moment is realm. You're going into a different realm, a different area. So you're working with women. And I love working with women. Sorry, I just think we've got an amazing ability. Our energy is amazing. We are got more to give than anybody actually knows yet. It's gonna the world. What do you want as a businesswoman to create your I'm going to say fortune, but I don't mean money. If money's good, no diss on money, we all need it to get around this planet. But what is it that you are aiming at to create your fortune?
For me, it's globally having women come together to just do that, to just, I guess, when I leave the planet Earth, is know that I've been a peacemaker, I've been compassionate and loving. So leave my stamp on the world. You know, when I go, I want my daughter to tell her daughter that, you know, I was courageous and I spoke up for what I believed in, and I supported other women and I helped them on their healing journey. And then it becomes a ripple effect. So I want that ripple effect of that the heal will heal.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
So it's, you know, when you start, like even with my Moon Tribe Academy, start with just a few ladies. And already I'm seeing such a difference in some of them who had, you know, shoulders up here, very anxious to come on Zoom, couldn't speak. And then second session, third session. And it's just so lovely to see. You know, it's just a beautiful experience. And for me, I get a lot from that as well. I get a lot from that. Like I actually on a session will go, whew, I didn't know I needed that. I didn't know that I needed that as well. In that moment of me guiding them through the meditation, I'm going through that process thinking, as I'm reading that meditation, I need this myself. Wow, I need this. You know,
it's connection as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I know it's my soul contract, I guess. It's my soul's mission to not, you know, we can't help everybody, but everybody can help somebody. And then, like I said, that beautiful ripple effect happens. And I believe if it can be one person can create hatred and war, then one person can create peace and love. And hopefully I will be the latter, you know, and I will create peace, love and harmony and connection and consciousness. And
love it. Absolutely love it. You know, we spoke, I keep saying we spoke earlier, we did speak quite a lot before we went live. Very much on the same thread, that we in ICA are in West Wales for a reason. We moved here to have a bit of land. We moved here to see the sky because it was needed. We moved here so I can walk in the grass, feel the land and grow our vegetables and have animals, you know, things like that. But ultimately to have a retreat for female business owners. And we are not here to plow in the strategy and to plow in the steps and plow in the, you will do this to build your business. It is about you finding you. And again, we were on very similar paths, that we're going to light fires and sing and laugh and watch the stars and even get wet, because it does do that a little bit in Wales. But this is why it's green, and we need the green and we need the damp under our toes. So if I know where I'm going in my business, as in ICA is there for female business owners, but also we have something lurking next year called Women of the 21st Century. And this is a place where people are able to have their voice, whoever they are, if they wish to play, have their voice on an interview, and then we're going to turn this into a book, something that you can take with you and leave for your generation to say, this is me as a woman, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. And I'd love to invite you, my sweet, to have a chat about this in the future, you know, and to share with the world about how powerful women are, and intuition and dreams, and how many puddles you can jump in.
Oh yeah.
And how many, I'm going to say climb trees, but I actually can't do that anymore.
We can still hug.
I hug a tree, but I just can't get up there anymore. So climbing trees, jumping in puddles, and just being fun. So I'd invite you on live, so we can't get out of this, to talk about that. But I just want to give you a virtual hug, and hopefully one day a real hug.
Yeah.
To say thank you for being you.
Oh, thank you.
It's really important that we are who we are, and be brave enough to be who you are. And ladies, when you're watching this, if you've got anything out there that you've got this passion, this dream, this gut feeling, this, for goodness sake, I've got to, then talk to either of us or anybody else in your realm. That's my dog saying yes, obviously, because she's a girl. But to ask for questions, ask people, research, because the reason you're feeling it, the reason you're thinking it, is that it's real.
Absolutely.
Absolutely real. And don't let anybody else say no. Let's work together on this. We could go on, darling.
Good, couldn't we?
I'm going to put the kettle back on and we'll be back. I will be in touch with you, obviously, but thank you, Lisa, so much. Ladies, if you want to talk to Lisa about her tribe, you know, create that magic 1 hour bloody month for yourself.
Absolutely. There is resources within the tribe as well, that if you can't make the hour Zoom, there is resources and meditations and things in there that you can do at your leisure and when feels right.
But the biggest thing, I think, is community, your tribe.
Yeah.
So people coming together and getting that energy from each other.
Totally.
Actually, to catapult you into doing the meditations on your own, to taking the next step of time to do something for you as well. So guys out there, don't nearly did it. Oh, bugger it. Don't fanny around. You know, if you need that time, take it. Nobody will give it to you unless you take it. And just contact Lisa and have some special time. And you never know what comes from that, whether it is a business and maybe it's me you need to talk to next, or whether it's just a time to put the kettle on and watch the rain, which I quite like doing every now and then. I love watching the rain. But I love and leave you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining us. And I think we will be back.
I think we will. What face?
What's it? What was that, Arnie? We will be back, or I will be back. That's like 1980s. Show me age. But love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Hang around. I'm going to say goodbye to the lovely people who are watching us. So ICA TV is there for anybody who's a female business owner or wannabe female business owner. Give us a shout. You can also be in the hot seat like Lisa is right now. And we can have a bit of fun, a bit of chat and get to know each other, and also share your story and share your mission to the world. If we are keeping it in our own little boxes, in our own little houses, then nobody knows about it and we need to share it. So if you are out there watching and you wish to share, let us know, and we will be back on another interview very soon. So love you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon on ICA TV. Take care, guys. Bye.